Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. This is a little bit different time slot than normal, but we have a very special guest, and I am so excited to share this story with you. So today we're joined by Ashley, and she just graduated from Utah Valley University, and she was there the day that Charlie Kirk event happened on the UVU campus. Up to this point, Ashley has not shared her story publicly, but today is the first time that she is speaking on depth in camera about what she saw, what she heard, how she processed those moments, what has stayed with her since, and where she may think that the case is going from here. As always, the goal here is not to put words in anyone's mouth or to pretend that trauma comes back in a neat, perfect sequence. The goal is to let an eyewitness speak for herself in her own words and to preserve the account from someone who lived through that day. So, without further ado, I will bring on Ashley. Thank you so much for being here, Ashley.
I'm so excited. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And I wanted to mention for anyone who's curious, and you could kind of echo this if you wish, but I first reached out in March, I think it was early March, late February.
Yeah.
And we weren't able to connect for many months there. But then we've been kind of trying back and forth to make a time for the interview if and when you were comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And now it worked out.
Yes, I'm so excited. It did take a while, but we're here today.
Absolutely. So again, thank you for being here. And if you just want to kind of start at, let's see, I'm going to get these comments in a better slot. Okay. If you just want to kind of talk about from the beginning, how did you end up going to UVU from early on, like post high school? Did you go to college or did you go to high school in Utah? Was UVU always on your list?
Yeah, so I'm originally from Southern California, so Utah wasn't always on my radar necessarily, but I grew up in like the LDS faith, so it's just kind of like you go to Utah for school, there's the U, there's BYU, and there's UVU. They're all kind of like in the same distance from each other. And yeah, so I graduated. I'm from like Orange County, California, and I decided to go to UVU because I honestly don't even have like an exact reason. Like it was honestly just like far enough from home, but close enough from home, And I studied finance there, and they have a super good program and a lot of good professors that have like amazing backgrounds in business, which was super cool. And so, yeah, Utah was never like on the radar, but it was, it just worked out.
Awesome. And so did you know other people there when you first went to UVU, or did it just become like, family over time?
No, a handful. So a lot of my friends went to BYU actually, which is like 10 minutes south, I guess, of UVU. So I had a handful of people from Southern California that I knew there. And then I did random roommates my first year and made friends that way. So yeah, it was a mix of both, I'd say. Like I met people, and I also went to college with a ton of people from California. Yeah.
Yeah. And so you were, at the time of the incident on September 10th, you were a senior.
Yes, it was my senior fall semester. Yeah.
And how did you end up at the Charlie Kirk event? How'd you hear about it? What made you want to go? Had you been a big fan?
Yeah, so like, I was hanging out with this group of guys, and they were like, oh my gosh, like Charlie Kirk's coming to UVU next week. Like we're going to go. And they're kind of like obnoxious. They were kind of like, we're going to be front row with like signs. And you know, those guys that like get there and like have their place and like, they're very like into it. And I was like, oh my gosh, like no way, I didn't know he was coming. And so like I searched it and then I didn't think much of it. And then the day came and like I saw it on Instagram and I mean, I'd like see Charlie Kirk on my reels like everyone else, you know, I wasn't like diehard like following like Turning Point or him or anything, but like I loved his videos. Like I loved watching his debates and I loved that he was like going to all these campuses. I thought it was like interactive and fun. And so like the day came and my friend and I were, it was like that morning I was like, oh, should we go? Like kind of like as a joke, you know, like should we actually go to this? And we were like, yeah. And so like it was me and my friend and her friend, we all went together. And I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, my older brother, he was already there because he had class that morning. I had another brother that went to school here. And so like we met him in the center where it was happening. And yeah, so like I didn't necessarily like, it wasn't on my radar for like months to go to this event. It was just kind of like day of and like week of, it was kind of being talked about and at like schools and parties and stuff, you know? And so I just kind of showed up. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you don't mind, I do have like a photo of you at the event. Can I add that to the screen?
Go ahead. Okay. Yeah, so this is when we
tell us about the scene.
That's my friend Jane, and that's my brother with the peace sign up, and we like walk. It was like packed by the time we got there, so we were like, and he was pretty close. We were pretty close to like the tent, probably like 20 feet, I'd say. That's what it felt at least. So like we were maneuvering through the crowd trying to find him, and then we found him and took the selfie. And like sent it to like our family, like, look how many people are at the Charlie Kirk thing. And it's like crazy. If you look in the picture, there's like the balconies are full and like all the way, like that way. If I turned, maybe there's a video of it that I sent you, but you can see like it was so packed. It wasn't just a courtyard. It was like balconies and like, there's like glass windows to buildings. They were lined with people. It was like insane.
Yeah. I mean, really, when I saw this photo, because I'll be honest, in some photos, it doesn't look like that many people. But then when you start to look at like a candid photo like this, and you see there's people pushed all the way, you know, to the balcony, and you start to think, okay, it really is a lot of folks.
Yeah. It was actually
one small angle.
Yeah, it was crazy because like from where we were, it was just like the tent and a few rows down. And then you turned around and it was like, it was crazy. Like I feel like the entire town was there. Like it was absolutely ridiculous how many people showed up. And like I'd seen his debates before, you know, on Instagram, but like I mean, I'd never been to another one, so I guess I can't speak on how many people were there, but I would say like this definitely had one of the biggest turnouts. And I think he had mentioned that when he showed up, like, wow, what a turnout.
Yeah. How many people would you say, and I know it's hard to estimate, but how many people would you say were there or that it felt like were there?
Oh my gosh. Probably like, it's like 3,000 a stretch, 2,000.
I mean, that's the 3,000 is the number that they say, but did it like, it really felt like thousands of people versus hundreds, you know?
It was definitely in the thousands if you were to look around. Like that's accurate. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll add
there's people literally everywhere. It was crazy.
Oh, hold on. Let's see. Whoops. Let me make sure I get the right screen here.
That was the one of him walking in.
Whoops. Hold on. Okay. Yeah. And then here's another video.
Yeah, like you can see across all the balconies. Like it was, and that balcony up there was like people that really disliked Charlie Kirk. They were all like above him right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And did that seem strange to you, or were you expecting that? Did it seem like they were making a big noise?
They definitely were trying to make a big noise, yes. I was expecting it. I mean, it's a political, like, there's like political conversations going on and stuff. So, and he's like a big figure online, you know? So, like, obviously, anything like this, there's going to be those kinds of people there. But they were like, honestly, they were just being normal, I guess. Like, they had their posters and their flags and whatever other items they brought were like hanging down.
Sorry.
But no, you're good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But in all, it seemed like did they seem like the minority as compared to the majority?
Sorry, can you ask that again?
Did they seem like the minority of the crowd as opposed to the majority of the crowd?
Oh, most definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's Utah. It's like such a conservative place. So like, that's probably another reason why the turnout was so big, because of the state it was in, you know?
Mm-hmm. Did you have a ticket to the event?
I had filled something out like prior to going, and I think now that I'm thinking about it, I think it was like a ticket to, if you wanted to go speak on the mic, you had to sign something. They like sent a survey out and you had to have that, but I don't think that was enforced necessarily. You didn't have to have, excuse me, you didn't have to have a ticket to like go to the event, no.
Yeah.
Just if you wanted to speak on the mic, and like I wasn't in line to speak, so I didn't know if they were actually checking them or not.
Mm-hmm. So did that seem weird to you, like for an event that was that large, or did it just seem like free reign, you know?
I mean, I will say, like, once I showed up and realized like the abundance of like people that were there, I was a little bit like, wow, like this is like, I definitely had security thoughts like go through my head. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I also didn't expect that many people to be there. Like, again, it was the middle of the week. I feel like it was a Wednesday, if I were to remember.
It was a Wednesday. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So I didn't expect that many people to be there because it was a Wednesday in the middle of a work and school day. So when I showed up and there were that many kids there, and there was a handful of like parents there with children and families and grandparents, like literally everybody was there.
Yeah. I mean, you got a pretty solid seat considering. Did you, or where you could stand, did I hear you say a minute ago that there was a survey or something ahead of time?
Yeah, it was like a survey that was sent out, I think, if you wanted to speak on the mic, like to Charlie Kirk, like you had to like fill information. But what I said is I wasn't in line to speak on the mic, so I didn't know if they were actually checking or enforcing that. But you didn't have to have a ticket or anything to like walk into the event.
Yeah,
because it was like a very like open space. Like there was a lot of areas throughout campus you could access that from.
Okay, got it. That is interesting. Do you remember did you look at any of the questions to the survey, or remember any of them?
Oh, I wish I did. I know it's just like very basic, like name, phone number, email. And I want to say one of the questions was like, let me think. What did it ask? It said something along the lines of like, it said like, this is just like, I am definitely not saying it right, but something along the terms of like, this is like a peaceful conversation. This is not like a debate, and this is not a team attacking you, like something like that. They made it clear that this is like optional, and it's not like people against people, you know, it's just a conversation. Like they made that clear in the thing you signed.
Did it come from UVU or from Turning Point? Do you recall?
Um, I want to say our school sent it out, but I think it was through Turning Point. Yeah.
Okay. But if it came
got like an email that
through,
attending our university for that Wednesday, and if you wanted to speak, you had to fill this out. But it was, you clicked on the link and it was from Turning Point.
interesting. Okay. But it probably, they obtained like the university emails, I guess, through the university, most likely.
Yeah, but it was like sent through our university, not from Turning Point.
Okay.
The stuff we clicked was then Turning Point. So I think like they sent it to our university and then it got like mass sent to our emails.
Yep. Got it. Do you think, well, did you notice that there was a lot of older people there?
Actually, yeah, there was, just because like I was around, I mean, it's a college campus. So yeah, there's, again, like I said, there was a lot of like families with little kids there, and which was odd to me. And then there was like middle-aged men there. Yeah.
I mean, at the time, I know you were, only got to be there for a short amount of time, all things considered. But I mean, did that seem kind of weird, given that it was a college event?
Yeah, it actually was. Like I remember standing on the grass, and because I was like, it was on like there's like different levels to the courtyard, and I remember like looking around and being like, why are there kids here? It was kind of odd because just in like his videos and stuff that he posted regularly, it was just a like, college campus and like that atmosphere, So like being there and like seeing like adults and kids, yeah, it was definitely a little odd. Like I was like, oh wow, like this is a big deal. Like people like drove in for this,
I was wondering also, gosh, I'm trying to think back and maybe someone in the chat can help me remember because it's been a long time, but I don't remember for sure if even Henry Dells, the first speaker, and Hunter Kozak, if they actually were UVU students. Do you recall?
I feel like the one that went up right before, like during him getting shot, was a UVU student.
Okay.
But
I know he was from Texas at some point, and then I know that Hunter had gone to BYU, but I can't remember if he graduated from BYU or was attending BYU. So
yeah,
anyway, I think that's interesting. So when it seems like it's an exciting environment, I guess. Did you feel overwhelmed about the number of people there, or how were you feeling like leading up to Charlie arriving?
Like once I was there and in the courtyard and like
yes,
I mean, like I say like vibes were very high. Like I remember like texting our parents because I was with my brother and I was like, oh my gosh, like this is insane. It's gonna be so fun. And then like everyone was just like super cheerful and excited, and like fall semester in college is just like fun anyways. Like there's always stuff like that going on, So it's just like another day, another like activity to do, I guess. And yeah, it was just like fun overall, like good vibes. And then when he walked in, like everybody was cheering super loud, and like it was just super like happy and fun, and it was like a beautiful like sunny day. It was like very good vibes all around.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like it was a pretty day, and people from the like pre-event things that I did see, it seemed like a lot of people were in a good mood, but things changed pretty quickly into the event. So tell me about those just couple of moments leading up to it, and then once you heard something, what you heard.
Yeah. So he comes out and he's like throwing hats around, and like I said, it was just very good, like happy vibes. Everyone was like super excited. And do you remember what the first speaker talked about? Because I don't want to like
Yeah, the first speaker spoke to, like, asked him something that had to do with Mormon, about the Mormon culture, and Charlie said right off the top that, you know, he's an
Yeah.
evangelical Christian, but he
And
loves his Mormons, and
it was
he
like the second
referenced.
speaker, and then he got shot during the second
Mhm.
one, right? Okay. I just want to make sure like my facts are straight. So yeah. So he comes out, everyone's cheering. The first guy goes up and they're just talking about like you said, like religion and faith. And everyone, like, again, this is like everybody, not everybody, majority of people in Utah are of the LDS faith, so they're already like very Christian people. And so that conversation from that speaker like got a lot of people excited, and like everybody started cheering just because it was like honestly just like a wholesome conversation between them. And like Charlie answered very like mature and respectful, and the kid actually like listened. Like it was actually like a very good question and answer, you know. And I just remember at the end of that first question, Charlie was like, Jesus is king. And then like the whole crowd just like erupted in like cheers and like excitement. Like it was like, oh my gosh, like this is so fun. And then the next guy came up, and it was like right then and there I was like, we were like, me and my friends were like, oh my gosh, like I'm so excited to be here, because like the energy from the first question was so fun, you know. And it was like actually interesting to like be there in real life and like hear his response to these questions. And then yeah, like that kid was talking about gun rights, and then like boom, like the shot went off. And honestly, like it happened so fast that like I remember it very clearly, but it was also such a fast, quick thing that like your mind almost like removes itself from what's going on, you know? So yeah, like he was shot, and like everybody, we were on these like levels, like I said, everybody like ducked down, like everybody ducked and covered. Like my brother jumped on top of my back, and it just went like, there was like screams of like fear, but also it was like silent at the same time, because like we didn't know if this was about to be like a mass shooting or just Charlie getting shot, you know? And so like that sudden fear sunk, like we were like cradling up together, just waiting for like the next rounds of like gunfire to go off, you know? And once we realized that it was like an assassination, not like a school shooting, then everybody just like vanished. Like everyone was just sprinting and running, and like screams and screams. Like everyone was screaming like bloody murder. And it was kind of in that moment, like my mind blacked out. Like I honestly don't remember much after I like stood up, because I was so freaked out of like what I just saw. And yeah, so like that was like my initial reaction. And like what happened the second he got shot is just everybody like fell down, and like everybody I talked to, because I actually had a handful of friends there too, everybody like had the same reaction. Like we all thought we were getting shot next. Like all those thoughts were going through all of our heads, like this is it. Like, and we were close, so like we would have been like the next targets, you know. So yeah.
Did you have any sense of where that sound came from?
Yeah, it came from behind. I would say again, I was very close to the tent, and like I know there's a lot of speculations of like where it came from, but like it sounded like it just like went past my ear. Like for me, it genuinely felt like it was like from behind. And so yeah, and like that's like the conclusion that I've stuck to, because I do remember like the sound of it so vividly. Like it was like a slingshot. It was just a very loud, like singular slingshot that like came from behind. Like you could tell it was like a distant thing.
Mm-hmm. Have you
Yeah.
been around guns much before that?
A couple times, but no. Like I've gone to like a shooting range with like my dad before, like in the desert or something, you know, but no, not enough to like fully know.
Yeah. I'm going to look over at the chat for a second because I do see some questions. So did it sound dry or a pulse moving past? Yeah, I know it's hard to remember sound from that long ago,
Like
but
I
do you
said,
have any description?
it was like a slingshot. Like that's the only way I can describe it, if that helps. So maybe more of a pulse. Like kind of sound like a like a slingshot.
Yeah. And do you recall, like, were you looking at Charlie in that moment?
Like when he, so like when he got shot, his whole like, it was like a domino effect. That's how I explain it. Like his whole like neck collapsed to his back. Like his whole like head blew off. And like, it was in that moment that, it was in that moment that like I knew he was dead instantly. And like I know like news channels and stuff were like, oh, he's being transferred to the hospital and like they're trying to keep him alive. And I was like, he's not alive. Like being there and seeing that, like, and he was instantly dead. And like I know there's a lot of things that say he wasn't instantly dead, but like I can tell you right now, like he was instantly dead. Like his head like snapped off his body basically because he was like shot in the neck. And like
you feel that with 100% certainty.
Oh, 1,010%. Like I would like fight that forever. Like he died on the spot. Yes. Like 1,010%. He died right after he got shot. And I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, like the amount of blood that pumped out of his body was like that more than anything is what I remember. Like there was so much red gushing blood that it was like, that's what even made it more visible was the amount of blood that like gushed out. And so, yeah, it was crazy. It was like a snap back and then like just gallons on gallons of blood just pouring out. Like it was like he was like hanging upside down and like draining the blood out of his body. That's how much like blood was coming out of his neck. Like when because like, yeah, like he got shot and we all like, before we all dropped like out of fear that we were going to get shot next, we all did like stand there and see it, you know, because like a gunshot happened so fast. But yeah.
Yeah, it was overwhelming to you in that moment.
Yeah, it definitely was. Like, yeah, it was very overwhelming and like just like scary. Like it's something you never think like you'll see in real life and like be that close to, you know?
There were some people who said in those immediate interviews that he was shot in the chest. Why do you think that was?
Because like they weren't 20 feet from it and saw videos of it. Like he definitely was shot. I don't remember I think it was was it his left side? Yeah, like he definitely definitely went through there. Literally just because like I don't want to get too like visual because I know it's like a sensitive topic.
Okay. That's okay. You can just, I mean, look, the people who are here and who are watching this stream, I mean, go as far as you want to be comfortable for yourself. But I mean, the folks that are listening, like they most likely watch streams on this and hear about it, research it, etc., day in, day out. Yeah.
So like it definitely hit right here and like erupted. Like you could see it. And like I don't know how else to explain that except like I was there and I was 20 feet from him and like literally saw it with my own eyes, you know? I mean, I've seen speculations that like it was in the chest, but like I remember so instantly being like, oh my gosh, like he just got like shot in the neck, you know? Like it was very visible that it was right there. Like it probably was close to the chest, but it was like definitely his neck.
Yeah. I wonder why people might initially, because there were several people who initially reported to the local news that he was shot in his chest. He was shot in his chest.
Yeah.
He was shot in his chest. So, I mean,
Yeah.
you know, do you, any thoughts on that, or is there any I don't know, was there any debate about that amongst your friends in those immediate minutes or hours after?
Everyone I've talked to of like, and these are like friends that I've like had for a long time that I'm close with, like, and we've gotten like very vulnerable about this topic. Like, we all of our stories line up to a T. There has not been one friend of mine that was there that was like, really, I feel like it was in his chest, or like, really, I feel like the gunshot didn't sound like that. Like, all of our stories align like to a T. And so like, yeah, like the news will say what they want to say, but like we literally were there and saw it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I think it's important, even though I've been digging into this case for the last 9 months, like really ever since it happened. And in my mind, and the evidence that I look at, and it's limited, that's been provided, you know, much of it is things that either I spot or other folks have brought up, or that I've, you know, dug up and experience and things like that. But in contextual elements, like I'm not convinced that happened. I don't believe that he was shot. And so that's why, like, one of the many reasons why I wanted to have you on today was to hear your sincere firsthand account, because the fact is I wasn't there. The majority of the people in the chat, you know, I don't think anyone in the chat was there. And so we have to take into account people who were actually there.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Like, it's like one of those things, like I was like completely numb, and like I went home like for a month after this and was like sick to my stomach, and like it was such an event that like I don't wish upon any, like nobody, no human should like see something like that, you know? And it's like, my thing is like if people are gonna like ask me about like my story and like what I saw, and oh, did you think this? Because I've talked to many people, and like they've been like, oh, but the news said this, and like I've read this about it, and I'm like, I totally like could see where that's coming from, but like my story will never change, you know? Like what I heard and what I saw and like what I know like will never change because I was there, if that makes sense. And like I love hearing, like, I mean, I don't love it, but like it's like intriguing to hear like all the speculations around it, I guess. But like even with all the speculations, like what I remember has not changed. Because you know how sometimes you can like read something and like your opinion can change, or like people like believe their own lies or whatever. Like nothing about it has changed from like that day.
Yeah.
Of like what I remember and what I saw.
So certainly there was panic in that immediate moment. Then, I mean, what did you do? Well, actually, let's roll the video. I want, if that's okay, I'd like to roll the video of that you provided. Here we go.
Charlie Kirk just got shot. You're okay. You're okay. You're okay. You're okay. Charlie Kirk just died. We gotta get the fuck out of here. Charlie Kirk just fucking died. Oh my god.
First of all, how do you feel listening to that, watching that?
Yeah, like again, like what I said, like after like you could like hear us like kind of like hyperventilating almost in that video. Like after that moment, like I completely like blacked out. Like I was just sprinting to my car at that moment trying to leave, because like even though more shots weren't going off, like all that's in your head in that moment is like, oh my gosh, like, what did I just see? And like, you're sick by it. Like, political sides aside, like seeing life get taken in front of you like that is completely wrong and disgusting. And like, it's so sad. Like, no human should ever experience that. But yeah, like after we got up and started running, like I don't even necessarily like remember like my feelings or anything except just fear, because even though like more shots hadn't gone off, like it was still in the back of my head, like, what if the shooter's like loading his gun and we're about to hear another like a round go off while everyone starts running and then the more shots go off, you know. But once I like made it to my car, and I'm so thankful my brother was there with me, because I don't know, it just like felt more safe, and like he like really stepped in and like protected my friends and I by like jumping on top of us and like driving me back to my house. And my other brother showed up, and it was just such a traumatic day. Like genuinely, it was like so sad and sick, and it was almost like there's no way I just witnessed that. And then the days after, like I was just in such disbelief that something like that had happened, you know? Like I couldn't function. Like I flew home that night to California because that's where I'm from, and like stayed with my family, and I like couldn't leave my house. I couldn't like sorry, I'll like get emotional talking about it, but like it was just like
okay.
It was just like such a scary time, and like the world around me just kind of stopped for a while. Like even looking up at the sky, like the sky looked different and the trees looked different, and like my whole perspective on like life changed that day, honestly. So it was just such like an unreal, traumatizing and life-changing experience. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's something that multiple generations, I think probably a solid 3 generations, if not more, you know, are impacted by this. Probably even, you know, maybe it's 4 elderly folks. My grandparents are passed, but you know, between my parents, myself, and my sons, seeing that just on TV, you know, or TV and phones and everything, it's something that, you know, we will remember exactly where we were on 9/10, even though, you know, we were states away, thousands of miles away. I think millions of people will remember where they were when that happened.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, I don't think even in the moment, like I remembered, like, or not remembered, I didn't realize like what a big deal, like what I just witnessed would turn into necessarily. Cause like, you're not thinking of the aftermath of it when you're in it. And I just remember the weeks after being like, this is something like our kids will probably, like you were saying, like, this is something like our kids will probably like hear about one day and know about, and like, oh, your mom was there and your uncle was there. And like, correct me if I'm wrong, but like, wasn't the last, like, I guess like political figure assassination, JFK, right? Or no?
Yeah. I mean, as far as the United States goes, yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And so like, I just remember like thinking like, wow, like something like this like hasn't happened in so long. Like this is going to go down in history. And it was like kind of crazy that I was there and like so close to it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, goodness. So in those moments then after, well, sorry, let me go back. A moment ago, you said that you felt like it would change you forever. Can you tell us in what kind of way you felt like it would change you?
Yeah, I mean, like, like just seeing like a life get taken that instantly like puts your own life into perspective very quickly. Like I didn't show up to my campus that day thinking I was going to like see somebody's life get taken. And like at the end of the day, like he was like, no matter what you thought about Charlie Kirk, like I know there's so many opinions about him, and like everyone's like allowed to have their own opinion, but like he's still a human with children and a wife, and like that is such like an evil thing, like that this innocent man just had to go through, you know? And so like honestly it was just like a big eye-opening, like how precious life is and like how fast it can be taken, and like not to take things for granted, and like just look at the bigger picture on things, you know? I think like in my personal life, like I had a lot of perspective switches after that event, and like realizations about like people and life and events and like things like that. So yeah, I think for me personally, just like open like a bigger picture on my like personal life and like perspective on things.
Yeah. So in then maybe those hours or even days or weeks after, okay, wait, I don't want to get too far ahead actually. Let's just talk about the hours in the couple of days. So what did you hear from UVU? What were you hearing officially? Actually, quite quickly, 33 hours later, they announced that Tyler Robinson had been arrested. So what did you think about all of that?
Yeah, so I remember like I got on like a like flight home very quickly after. I think I was on a plane like in the next like hour and a half, thankfully, like because I just needed to get home to my parents. Like me being in that town was freaking me out because they hadn't like arrested or like found who did it, you know? And like even like I don't know who I believe like did it necessarily. This doesn't have anything to do with that, but like knowing that Tyler Robinson was like they were trying to find him and didn't, that freaked me out so much. Like I just remember being like, I'll feel so much better once they have somebody detained for whatever reason. Like I couldn't even explain why I felt that way now, but like I just like wanted somebody detained and in custody for that, you know, because I was so like mad and hurt by it. I remember that feeling very much. And the few days after it, for me, I just like was very fragile. Like we were like at my aunt's house for dinner because I was just trying to do something normal, but I was still like paranoid and freaked out and like emotional, obviously. Like any loud banging noise, I would like start screaming bloody murder, like naturally. And like I'd say I'm a very like strong and independent woman. Like I didn't like that I was reacting like that, but I just had to like allow myself to react like that. Like it's a natural like trauma response, you know? And so like the week after, like I was overall just like freaked out about everything. Like I had to have people sleep with me. Any loud noise would freak me out. And like to this day, even like if I hear like a gunshot or a firework or anything loud, I like jump. Like I live in New York City right now, and it's like I love it. It's such a fun place. But like the other night, like a firework went off on my street because there was a parade, and like my whole body jolted. And it's just like a natural response. And like I don't know if that ever will go away, sadly, because like now my body just correlates that to the gunshot, you know? But yeah, that was like my experience like the week after. And then obviously like my like amazing parents like helped me so much, like try to get me back on my feet and stuff. And then it hit a point where I just wanted to like feel normal again. Like it hits a point in like trauma response and moments like that where like you can't hear one more news article about it. You don't want to see one more post about it. Like you just like feel like living your normal life again will be the only way to like regroup from this. So after about a week, I like flew back to Utah, and yeah, like it was just so weird. Like they gave us time off school for a bit. I think it was like 2.5 weeks. The campus was closed. Rightfully so. Like there were so many kids there that were just like traumatized. And I remember because I'm a finance major, so I was in the business building, and my building's right here, and then like the walkway to the courtyard's like right there outside, and like I parked like
What's the business? I'm sorry. What's the business building called?
Oh, it's the Keller building.
The Keller building. Okay. Yep.
So
there are a lot of folks who are familiar with at least the it's weird. I know, which I want to ask you about that in a bit. But yes, there's a lot of people who are familiar with the Losi Center, the Sorensen, the Keller building, the Hall of Flags, like
yeah. So like my first time like going back to school, like I was terrified, and like there's just like a few instances where like my whole body would like jolt, and I'd have to like run to the bathroom crying in fear, like in my own building, because like I thought I was like getting shot in my own school, even like weeks afterwards, which was so like odd. Like when you haven't experienced something like this, like these trauma responses just are so like abnormal that you kind of like are like, knock it off. Like, why are you doing this? You're fine. But like, you're not fine. Like you're living like a real like trauma response, you know? And so like, I'm sure you've all seen the video of like Tyler Robinson, like walking down the street, like with his legs stiff, and people say like the gun was in his leg or whatever. And he was like, do you know what I'm talking about? That video of him like walking when he has like a stiff leg.
And this is the one on the street or at the, because I guess they don't really show video on campus, but yeah.
Yeah, it's the one of him in the neighborhood. Well, like it was things like that. Like I'd be in class one evening, Saturday night class, and like I saw this man in a baggy jean kind of walking with a limp, and my whole heart and body went into sweats and shakes. Even not that I saw him walking on the street, but I'd seen videos of it, that my mind like correlated like anyone walking like that to be a bad person, you know? So there's just a lot of things like after the shooting that were just very like traumatizing and like hard to overcome.
Yeah. So then he's arrested. There's so many things. He's arrested. You have seen at that point a little bit of the evidence, right? So you've seen this picture, grainy photo of a guy in the stairwell, and you've seen this video walking on the street. I mean, what were your initial thoughts about the likelihood that that was the guy? And then do you have any, I don't know, where's your head at today?
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously like I've been in a lot of therapy for this, and it's not like going to therapy is not like an easy thing. It's a very like vulnerable space, but it's like, I knew this was something that I had to get help on because I was having too many like trauma responses to it to like continue normal. And so, yeah, like after September, I saw a therapist regularly, and it really helped me. And I'm like super thankful for that. And I honestly didn't feel normal going back to school until winter semester. Like after the holidays and when I came back, that's when I started to feel normal again. But like the rest of the fall semester was like shot for me. Like campus never seemed the same that semester.
Did they give you that option to not to like be remote?
Kind of, yes. Like professors were very, very lenient because they had to be, like, you know, there was kids like dealing with that. So yeah, professors were very like nice and understanding of each student's situation. But classes resumed, and like I just try to be as normal as I can because that's like what felt the best, you know, and like helped me like forget things. But yeah, I like definitely there was still like a lot of triggering factors, like being back on campus and stuff. And like it took me until like a month, I'd say late February is when I felt like normal being on my campus again. Yeah. Are you 21, 22? Do you just want to say early 20s? I'm 22.
So, 22. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, you guys, that's it. She's 21 years younger than I. So, or not, sorry, 19, if I could do my math right. My gosh. See, this is what happens when you get old. You can't even do math. But okay, so we're gonna go back. Did you receive any kind of outreach from UVU in those immediate days afterward? Did they offer any services to you?
Yeah, they like sent out like a QR. Oh, actually, so like the day after, there was like a lost and found because so many kids left belongings behind when they like sprinted out of the courtyard. And my brother went, I didn't go, I just heard this, but there was like QR codes of FBI, like if you needed to talk to someone, you could scan a QR code and they would like assist you in finding that. There was also QR codes to like file claims of anything you saw or heard or a suspicious person, like all those kinds of resources. And they also sent out like therapy compensation forms, and like you could get processed through depending on what level tier you were on the grass. Like if you were closer, you can get more, if that makes sense. And then, yeah, like throughout the rest of the semester, my school sent a lot of like emails about like mental health and, you know, all the things that they should. Yeah. So there was definitely a ton of support because like not every kid can like has like support at home or like can hire like a private therapist or something to get over these things. And so the school did offer a ton of resources, thankfully. Yeah.
But that some of those first contacts, you said, did the FBI wanted to know what folks went through, or some kind of law enforcement, where they were helping to facilitate?
Yeah, I mean, all I remember honestly was like something sent out that saying if you were on like, I'll just call them like the tiers of the courtyard, the like different levels of the grass. Like if you were on tiers like 1 to 4 to reach out and like share what you remember. Mm-hmm. But that's all I remember, honestly. Like, again, that time was kind of like fuzzy afterwards, sure. Like that week. Yeah.
And did you reach out to them or respond to them on that?
I think I reached out for like the therapy compensation just to like see what they'd offer, but no, I didn't. I was too like distracted in my own mind to like reach out to mm-hmm. anyone. Honestly. Yeah.
Yeah. And do you know anyone who did reach out to or respond to their inquiry about, hey, if you were on these tiers, please, you know, respond?
Yes, I know my brother did. He'd probably have more like insight on this than I do, but okay. I couldn't tell you what they said or what he did with that. I don't think he ever like followed through with them or anything.
Mm-hmm. I'd be curious to know if anyone did, because at one point, one of the witnesses, a guy that was there, told me and a couple of other streamers earlier in the year at a hearing when he was interviewed that only, and then I think this little factoid was repeated in court, but that only a very, very, very small percentage of people that were there, like, I don't know, maybe it was 1% or something like that. Forgive me, I don't recall off the top of my head, but that they had responded or provided a statement. And so for those of us on the outside, that was very surprising. It was like, what? You'd think that all these witnesses would be willing to say something about what they saw.
Yeah, definitely. But okay. Like, I think honestly, and like, it's like a bunch of like 18 to 23-year-olds that were there. I'd say majority, like they're definitely, like I said, was like the parents there and the like older adults with their children that came. But I honestly think like everyone was just so traumatized from that day that they didn't really want anything to do with it, even if that sounds like selfish. Like they just like saw what they saw and like were trying to recover from it. And I'm sure there was people that like saw things or like heard someone say something or were next to someone that could have been suspicious or whatever. And I'm sure they like reached out and like gave their statements. Like I know there were kids that gave statements, but I know like none of my friends or I did really, because I don't know, like all the information that had come out was everything I would have said anyways, you know? Like I didn't have like this groundbreaking like observation or something that I needed to like tell an FBI or some like a law enforcement.
Did you find yourself like looking back at the videos on the internet or trying to see like what people were saying at all, or was it kind of the opposite end of the spectrum?
Yeah, like I'll be honest at first. So like the day it happened, I know like the actual video of like him being shot was surfacing the internet and then it got taken down. And I had to watch that again. So I knew what my brain was reminding me wasn't false, if that makes sense. Like I couldn't believe what I saw, that I had to like see it again. Like I'm saying I knew exactly what I saw, but I just had to see it again to reassure like that's actually what had happened, you know? And then I watched the news until they like had Tyler Robinson in custody, and then I turned it off. Because for me, for whatever reason, like that's all I wanted to know, was that he was detained. Even if you guys believe like he wasn't the one to shoot, like he was part of it in some sense. So to me, like that was like, okay, they like got something. There's like a ball rolling on this case, you know?
You didn't feel the need to like keep up with it or look into it further?
No, I'm gonna be honest. Like I have not like dove into it super deeply. No, like I've heard things out of like natural conversations with like my parents' friends and like adults, you know, like I've definitely heard like things, but I haven't like been studying it. No.
Yeah. Talk about on that point, what, let's see, I just lost my train of thought there, but I'll come back to that. I'll remember exactly what I was going to ask. But I think on the survey part that you were mentioning, or just the reach out from the university, I did want to ask, some people had told me in the past that they had elected to do some of the therapy through the university and then had said that they felt very uncomfortable because they were intimidated or maybe felt like they had been kind of mind controlled in a way. Did you hear anything about that?
I have not heard anything about that. No. And I've like, I haven't come across anyone that like mentioned that, honestly.
That they felt uncomfortable by the therapy that was offered. Got it.
I haven't. Okay. Yeah.
What about you know, a lot of people struggle with the concept of having 3,000 people at this event and then having so few cell phone videos or pictures or whatnot released to the public, make it onto the internet. What are your thoughts on that? How can there be 3,000 people at the event and then such a small pool of images that make it on?
That actually makes sense. And like, I've never thought of that, but now I'm like, yeah, that is interesting. If I were to say something, I think it was the second speaker of the day. Like we were going to be there for the next 2 hours. So I don't think people were necessarily like, not everybody was recording, and it hadn't, I feel like people like pull out their phones and record when like the debate's getting a little like spicy and heated, you know? And like, this was like the second debate after like a very like wholesome debate before about like Jesus. And so I just don't think like everybody had their phone out. Like my phone was like in my purse, because I genuinely was there and like wanted to listen, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, the reality is I try to equate it to a concert. Okay. And then understanding that it's even less exciting maybe than a concert. Okay.
Yeah.
And if you hear a song that you like, you're going to pull your phone out. If it's not your favorite song, you're probably not going to record it.
Mhm.
Okay. And so if people were interested in one question, and granted, this was only on the second debater, the second essentially question. And so, I mean, maybe they were into the first question and then they heard trans gun shooter, something other, and they're like, and put their phone down. I don't know. I'm just wondering what you think about that possibility.
Yeah, again, like I think like just because it was like the second speaker, like people had already like, you know, been recording like his entrance and like the first debate, and like at the first debate everyone was cheering very loud because it was like something about Jesus being king, and like it was like exciting and like high spirits, and people were recording and then probably put their phone down because they got a video, you know? Like I genuinely think it was just like a timing thing. Like the entrance had happened, the first debate where everyone was cheering so loud and excited to be there had already happened, that the phones like went away for the second one because like they had just had their phone out for 10 minutes recording like the entrance and him throwing the hats and the first like debate. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
That's my thought on it. Yeah.
Do you know anyone who doesn't believe the official narrative and doesn't think it was actually Tyler Robinson on the roof with a 30-06?
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people that don't believe it was him. Like, I don't know that I necessarily believe it was him, but then I'm like, then I go back to my narrative, like, well, I heard the shot came from the back. Like, that's what I remember so vividly, is like the shot, like being a slingshot, and it came from the back. And so I'm like, if it wasn't him, how is there not video surveillance of like some other distant figure if it did come from the back? You know, like if you dig down that like rabbit hole enough, like it's very easy to believe it wasn't him. And like I'm not fully convinced it was him, but it just like that confuses me because it sounded to me like it came from the back. So I'm like, if it wasn't him, then like who was it? Because if it came from the microphone or something up front, I don't think I would have heard that like slingshot effect coming from like the back. Like it feel like it like flew past my ear, you know? And we were pretty like centered to him. Like we weren't like dead center to him, but like a little to the left of his tent, but like more to the middle than to the left. And it just still felt like it came from the back. So yeah, like I don't know if I fully believe it was him, but I also would, like I said, am confused. Like if it wasn't him, then how would it have come from the back without there being surveillance of that person or thing, you know?
Mm-hmm. What about someone on a different roof? Have you considered that?
Like not on the campus, like somewhere?
No, well, I hadn't even thought about it being really that far back. I think early on, some people have proposed, you know, ultra sniper, you know, trained sniper being even further back. But there's been some speculation regarding the angles and things that even like the Sorensen Center roof might have been a better spot. You know, yeah. I'm actually going to the campus next week, so I'm hoping that I'm going to, you know, get to have a little more, be able to speak to this better. But given that you've, you know, gone through years of school there and you were there on that day, it's important to hear from you.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, like that's the part that confuses me, is it totally could have been from another roof, but I'm like, how is there not videos of that person climbing up to that roof? That's where I get confused. Like it's a campus, there's cameras everywhere. Like how did, I mean, unless there really isn't cameras on like a roof access somewhere that someone could have been in hiding in, and there was no cameras to prove it, but that like blows my mind. I'm like, how is there not one angle of him walking up a stairwell, or if it was somebody from another roof? Like that's what confuses me, you know? I'm like,
have you considered,
how is there not like other video surveillance if that's the case.
So with that said, does it make you wonder if there are images and video being suppressed by either the university or the local authorities or the federal authorities?
Yeah, definitely. Like it's, I don't know. Like, I feel like, I mean, there's not like scenarios like this every day. This isn't a normal thing, but I feel like there's always a video somewhere of these things, like off a kid's phone or somebody in passing, like, and like it gets posted, you know? So yeah, I wouldn't put it past people to like take videos down and like hide it if there was like a bigger reason for this all happening, which it's very possible there was. But yeah.
I mean, it certainly makes you wonder, and it makes you wonder if they actually had the goods of a person on the roof pulling the trigger, then why not release it to the public, especially in those early hours? Like, you know, don't have to get gory with it, but at least show that the person was actually there doing what they say that he was doing.
Yeah, it's definitely, if I've like dug into any of it, it's definitely been like where the shot came from and like the shooter. Like I said, like I don't fully know if I believe it was Tyler Robinson or came from there, but yeah, where I get confused in my mind is like, I know, like, and I've said it a handful of times, like the shot came from behind. That's what it sounded like. So like the speculations of like, oh, it came from the microphone or like underneath or behind or something. I'm like, no, like the sound, like I remember so vividly like where the sound came from, and it was somewhere in the distance, you know?
And I mean, have you considered maybe if sound was played through a speaker or multiple speakers that were coordinated, you know, and some of those speakers could have been behind you?
I've never thought of that, but like given like the slingshot echo sound of it, like that totally could be a possibility. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's also a possibility of, you know, one of the theories that I've researched has been a shot was actually taken, but that it was sent over the Hall of Flags and into the pond. And so that way it could like safely land there. And security had the Hall of Flags completely blocked off. And so, you know, that would have kept anyone from like potentially being hurt, but would have allowed for the shot to like be realistic and land safely.
Mm-hmm. Did you say the Hall of Flags they said was like completely blocked off, like kids couldn't watch it from there?
Yeah, from overhead. So like from directly over Charlie, like this part. Yeah. So
okay,
they had it from here to here. So there were like the protesters like on this side and then other people on this side, but this area was, you know, totally blocked off.
Yeah, because I was gonna say I remember there being videos from the halls of flags of like them recording the event and then everybody like ducking down. I've seen that. Yeah.
But like on that exact part over Charlie, like above the tunnel. Sorry, I should have described it that way. So there's the tunnel that's underneath.
Yeah.
And Charlie had his you know, tent right there. And so yeah, that whole area was blocked off by the UVU officer, I guess.
Yeah. So what was your question with the pond again? Sorry.
Oh, if the shot could have been taken, and so that way the sound was made for effect, right? And it would show up in videos and things like that, and had been designed to land in the water.
Oh, to make a sound.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like, again, I've like I have not like dove into these like conspiracies at all, but like hearing it from you, like that could be a possibility. Yes.
Because
Like
one
if
thing
they made like a fake sound, I could see how someone would make a fake sound that sounded like the sound I remember. If that makes sense. Like I feel
that
like
makes sense.
I feel like it's a very easy sound to replicate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That could you, I know this is weird, but like, could you try to, when you talk about slingshot sound, is there a way to kind of replicate like what you remember in your mind?
Yeah, I don't, it's literally just like, I'm trying to think. It's like a slingshot, like, you know, with like a ball in it or something, or a kid like pulling it back with a rock in it, and it like, you release it and then it kind of goes forward and back again. Like it's kind of like a wave slingshot. That's kind of what it's like. Yeah.
No, it's
was
super helpful.
It was kind of like a fluid slingshot sound. Like there was some like recoil on the slingshot, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Well, and you were in an area that, you know, potentially, of course, we're not going to have the opportunity to recreate something like that in that exact area. Maybe some people with some crazy technology can, but you know, it was almost acoustically different, right? It's not just a flat surface. The area was surrounded by buildings, and then, you know, you had there's just a lot of factors. So I appreciate you trying to help us nail that down.
Yeah.
And I do know that then that, because you have been at UVU for several years, maybe you remember this or recall this, but not too long after, they drained the water in the courtyard and also that pond. Have you ever noticed that in years past?
I haven't, just because like I don't go over there ever. Like it's kind of like at the front of this, like the front of the business building, and like behind where the tent was, you know. I don't recall like honestly looking at the pond ever and like realizing water was in it or not.
Yeah. I have it on good authority that the pond, I mean, I'd noticed that the pond was drained, but I have it on good authority that not only was the pond drained, but abnormally that it was scraped as well. And so I'm curious to learn a little more about that.
Oh, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Trigger Smart, one of our gun experts in the chat, ballistics experts in the chat, wants to know if you feel that it was more of a whip, a snap, or something else. He didn't give me any other options, but
honestly, like a whip. Yeah. It was like, have you seen those like bamboo slingshots with like, or like the wood slingshots with like the or like the wood stick and then the like bamboo slingshot? It was like that piece of like leather bamboo like whipped across something, I guess. I have like an image of the slingshot that like I had as a kid in my head. But yeah, I'd say more of a whip than like a, yeah, definitely.
Got it. And so let's see, since, okay, if you've watched a little bit of the things, I mean, I'm sure in that moment you were just huddling for safety, but there's been a lot of criticisms as well of Charlie's security and even how they removed him from the event, not just what they did leading up to the event, but how they removed him from the event. Have you seen any of that?
Yeah, I have, and I remember it. Yeah, they all like gathered, like the second he was shot, they like, I want to say like 4 guys rushed over to him and like grabbed him. And then that's when we fell to the floor. But I have seen that they like they like carried him and he was like kind of laying on his back and they were carrying him into that car. Yeah, I've seen those videos.
Yeah. I mean, there's concerns. There are concerns for many reasons, but one, like, they never looked for another shooter. You know, they didn't, none of them, you know, stopped, drew their guns, looked around to see if there was someone who they could spot, who they could take out, if the crowd was in danger. But then, and then on top of that, how they picked him up and hauled him out kind of like a sack of potatoes. And yeah, I'm just wondering if you or your friends have talked about that, thought about that, if it bothered you at all.
No, we haven't talked about that really, because in my mind it was just like they probably thought like he's gonna keep getting shot, you know, or like we're gonna keep getting shot. So maybe they just like grabbed him and tried to like get him out of the way as fast as possible to like remove the target, you know. But the only thing that I have seen was like, which I think they came out and cleared it, the guy that did it, but like them like taking down the cameras and that stuff was a little like suspicious to me.
Yeah, what did you think about that?
I didn't notice that like the moment it happened, you know, like I don't notice like all the rummaging around, but like seeing videos of it, I definitely was like, that like that's a little odd, you know. And then I've seen all the videos of like his staff like doing signals and stuff, but I honestly just like I don't believe that any of his like bodyguards and staff had anything to do with it.
And why is that?
I like people like make movements and fidgets with their body all the time standing still. Like I'm sure on this live stream I've like I always touch my necklace and like fix my cardigan. Like it's just like they're human. I don't like they were just adjusting their collar or something and had their mic and were fixing it, and like maybe they were talking through the mic, but like they've done this event so many times, like the security's always standing by him like that, you know.
Yeah, and I want to let the chat know that she has not taken a look at things to the extent that we have, and that's not Ashley's purpose of being here, you guys. Her purpose of being here is to share her story, not to make a judgment on what happened and to blow the case wide open. Okay. Her point of being here is to share her story. The chat has been super thankful of you, by the way, for sharing your story. I just want to reiterate, because there's a lot of people who are flowing in now. So anyway, for those who are just joining us, there's there's a lot here, and you've been amazing. Do you have a little more time?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
cool.
like you said, like I've seen like the regular circulated videos of this event. I have not dove deep into conspiracies or angles or anything. Like I said, like I lived it, and like it's not something I want to keep researching just because for my own sake, like honestly. But
by the way, the chat thinks that you're super cute.
You guys are nice.
And that you're doing great. And, you know, yeah, they really appreciate. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. I can see your guys' comments. So.
Okay. Well, try not to look at them too much. I mean, look, the first time I was out, I should have warned you ahead of time. The first time I was on a live stream, I like
reading them. Like they're entertaining.
Okay. Yeah. Good. Okay. Well, she's watching, you guys. You know now that she's watching.
Like he said, I'm not here to investigate. I'm just here to communicate and share what I know and what I remember. That's it.
That's awesome. And we appreciate that so much. Let's see if I've written down a couple of things. Okay. Oh, at one point you mentioned that in regards to Tyler Robinson, that you weren't exactly sure if he was the one that did it, that it might be complicated. Can you elaborate on that a little more?
Sorry, can you ask that again?
Yeah. So you'd mentioned that, regarding Tyler, and if he was the lone gunman, he's the only person who has been charged with anything in this case. But that it might be complicated, I think was the words that you used.
Oh yeah, like sorry.
Whatever happened, I guess, like whatever happened might be complicated. And so I want to make it like, is that how you feel, or are there any loose ends for you?
Again, the only thing that I've like, I guess, investigated a bit more was like Tyler Robinson and like his like arrival on the campus and his like exit off the building and all of that, and like how like the bullets that were left up there and that stuff. And like I said, like it just blows my mind how like if it did come from another building, there's not like videos of like a suspicious person walking up to that building or a video anywhere else. Oops.
Okay, I can still hear you. I don't know if you can hear me, but let me figure out my camera.
I can hear you. It just says no signal.
Okay. All right, just keep going.
But anyways, yeah, I think like I said, like I'm not fully convinced it was him. Like everything that I've read really does make it sound like it wasn't him and it was something else. I think where I just get confused is like what I heard and how like it did come from like the back of me, like a distance. And like I know you said like they could use the pond or speakers, but like it genuinely was a very like gunshot sounding sound, that came from a distance. So
I'm gonna put you on the full screen in the meantime while I figure out my
okay.
my situation. There we go.
But, anyways, yeah, like I guess what like pisses me off the most is like how is there not more videos if it wasn't him? Does that make sense? Like how
that makes sense.
Like you said, there's 3,000 people there. How's there not more videos of like that moment? And like if there was a different shooter angle or something, like how is there not videos or surveillance of that?
So if okay, this is one that I've wanted to ask. How do people who were actually at UVU, I mean, especially those who were there that day, are you aware of all of the people out here who are investigating the case like on the daily, and who don't believe what happened? Like, do y'all have any idea how many people really are, obsessed with investigating this case? And what do you think about it?
I mean, I think it's like, if I really wanted to get into it, there's like definitely is a lot to investigate with it. And I totally understand like why there's so many people that are investigating it and not letting it go, because like there are a lot of things that like the more you get talking about it, it doesn't necessarily make sense or like could confuse you and make you want to know more or like figure it out. I think like, I don't think the investigation should stop necessarily. I think it's awesome that it's like being investigated, because like this was such like an absurd thing to happen. But yeah. What's there?
Let's see. I think my camera may be coming on now. Oh my goodness. Apparently the cord for the battery died. So
there's some people talking about like security on the campus.
Okay, yeah. Feel free to go for it.
Because I actually do have an opinion of this. So like I remember thinking like, like I know Charlie Kirk wasn't like, this is a political like debate. Like he wanted to keep it very friendly all the time just so he wouldn't get like canceled necessarily. But I remember thinking like, I'm shocked these things aren't more regulated. Like I always had thought that. Like I'm shocked these events aren't more protected. Like there are so many people that are out like hate him, as simple as that, you know? So like that always was a thought for me. And I remember going to the event that day and thinking like this is like an open space. And like we've heard about like school shootings and all like the terrible things that have happened in the world. And like I'm always shocked there's not more security in certain circumstances. And like same with that day, I remember like seeing all the open space and crowds and being like this is crazy. There's not more security here. And then after the fact that it happened, I was even more shocked. Like, why was there not extensive security like days leading up to this event? You know, why was there not like sweeps of the school and like people on roof lines? Like, is this not something they had thought about previously? Like, oh, he's somebody that people might be out against. Like, maybe we should get like security on like places that he could be shot from or hurt from, you know? So like after the fact that it happened, I definitely had like thought about like security issues with this event that he's like been doing at universities. Like, why is there not more security like on open roof lines? Like, it doesn't make sense to me at all. Why? And like, I know he was taking like a risk doing this, but it like got to a point where like he probably did need like security or to start doing these indoors, you know?
Okay, so on that note, I've got a question to ask. There was I think it's the soccer facility that had just been opened recently, within the couple of weeks before that, before 9/10. And so I'm wondering, like, why did they not do it there? It would have been a specific entrance for everyone to go through. And there would have been stadium seating. They could have had people in the crowd, sure, but at minimum, there would have been one specific entrance to go through. And it was a brand new, beautiful facility.
Yeah. I don't know why they didn't do that, honestly. Like, I thought this about like Turning Points events like for a while. Like, why are they just like outside in these tents? Because like I'd see his videos on Reels and be like, there's so many people that really dislike him. Like, I'm shocked he's just in like a pop-up tent, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like before I attended the event, those were definitely thoughts I had. Like, why? Not thinking it would ever happen, but I like, he's talking politics. Like, why is there not a little bit more security being involved in this?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. The security thing is very interesting to me. Like, I was kind of like, was he just like, this is what I want to do. I want a tent and I want to keep it like this forever? Or like, did he ever think like maybe it's time to start taking more precautions and move this indoors or like to a more secure like area,
well,
you know?
And apparently he had expressed concerns about his safety. And obviously he knew that Butler, believe it or not, was a thing. And I mean, we're in 2026 and he paid a very, very expensive security detail. And some of these folks had been with him for a long time. And if in fact he did have concerns about, people, whether it be foreign or domestic, coming for him, you just think that more basic security precautions would be taken.
Yeah, definitely. Like I think like, I mean, it's sad, like the world we live in, that like we have to think like that, like, oh, somebody can't go like have an open discussion without fearing their life. Like that's such like a sad reality. And then it like breaks my heart that it's something like our world even has to think about, but it's just like the reality of our day and age. And like, I think the Charlie Kirk event like really showed that.
But, I also kind of get upset with the security team and UVU for those who were in attendance, because not only, you know, was there if you believe that he was killed, right? That was there that incident, but all of you witnessed something that was very traumatic, and that's not right. Like something happened to you too, you know, that will change the way that you feel safe in large public places, or when you hear a sound, you know, you're going to react. And that part bothers me because not only did it something, you know, potentially very terrible happen to someone, but you all experienced something too that will stay with you probably forever.
And like, that's what's so sad about it too, is like, yeah, it like took a man's life, and his like family and children are gonna be like messed up from this forever, you know, but like you said, there's like 3,000 kids there that also will never be the same or be able to think the same and like be terrified. And I do remember actually like being so upset with UVU back to security. Like, why was there not like security walking around campus? And like maybe there was and I didn't see them, but like even if there was, like they needed more. Like, why was there not like security in the hallways and in the stairwells? Like I said, like these things should have been more monitored like a couple years ago, you know, with his following growing and stuff. Like they really should have taken more precautions. And anyways, like I do remember the few days after really being upset with UVU that like there wasn't more security and police and like precautions being taken, knowing that like X amount of kids were showing up, you know?
Can you think of an incident, an event rather, that was on campus that had a large turnout that had more security?
My graduation. Like seriously, like there was definitely like officers and police cars at my graduation that I did not see at the Turning Point event. Yeah.
Yeah. What about anything before the Turning Point event?
Let me think.
I mean, even games, or if I don't know if you had any speakers, anything that comes to mind, but with a lot of folks there.
I mean,
and a presence.
There's like normal security, you know, like I'd see a cop here and there, like the security patrolling the parking lots. Every now and again, I'd see like a cop going down campus. But after the event specifically, this is actually interesting and like was different going back to campus, was there was cops everywhere. Like there's cops parked outside of every, like the Keller building entrance. Like there's like the walkway to like the courtyard and then the Keller building. A cop sat out there from like September to when I graduated, and then they're probably still there. And like that oddly made me feel more safe going back to school, like seeing that there, even though it was like two little cops. Like what are they gonna do? But like at least I know like they're armed and like would help a little bit in a situation. But I'd be in like a study room and I'd see like a group of cops like walk around the corner, like holding their vests. Like there was a lot more security on our campus afterwards, which I was super thankful for, because like you don't know what crazies are gonna come back and like want to do something, you know? So that was,
or maybe what crazies are going to want to come and investigate. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking maybe they were a little more worried about keeping people who were wanting to investigate the case out of the way versus, you know, the alternative. But that's just me.
Yeah. But like, I remember like seeing cops come around the corner and like, it was kind of freaky. Like, wow, like this is normal now, like just a bunch of cops being at school, you know, because like our campus is like on the spotlight now. That was weird actually, like seeing all like the new security, and then it kind of made me mad, like why was this not here during that day, you know?
Yeah. This is from Jordan. He's one of my colleagues that I usually stream with every week. Can you ask about the video footage suppression? Was there a quarantine of eyewitnesses? Any talk of people having to turn over footage?
Like there was like I said, the next day you could go in and like there was a lost and found and like the FBI was there and like the news channels. And I remember, like I said, like you could submit any files or any anything you saw that was suspicious, you could upload if you wanted to. They didn't force it. It was like, if you have anything that you feel would help this case, please submit it. So yes, there was that. But I don't know anyone personally that like did that. Like, I think my brother uploaded like the videos I sent you, just like, cause he's super on this. He'd be someone good to talk to. But
maybe I can, is he still in Utah? Can I connect with him? Okay. Yeah. Maybe I can connect with him.
He's a bit older and probably more like with it than I am with this. But
oh, come on. Don't sell yourself short. Stop.
But yeah, you could definitely like upload things if you felt it would help authorities. I do remember that being passed around. So I mean, it's was possible, like had videos and like didn't release them, or but
yeah. Do you think, was there any pressure at all, or any disincentive or worry about if you spoke up or spoke out or shared a video that maybe there would be some sort of repercussion?
I personally never like felt like that. I guess like the political world can get a little like scary, and if like I think like a lot of kids just don't want to get involved, like simple as that,
Mm-hmm.
But I never felt like there'd be like a like issue uploading anything or talking about it. I think, like I said, like it was just a time where like I wasn't like, ooh, like let me talk to the FBI and the law enforcement about this. Like I can't wait to talk about it. Like I didn't want to talk about it, like I was so frightened from what I'd just seen that like it wasn't necessarily my thought. And I remember my mom being like, you really should, like, if you really have anything, that you think is valuable, you should really like send it to them or share or call somebody, but yeah. I don't think nobody that I talked to, I think it actually sparked a lot of people that like to want to be better and like get involved in things like this. I actually had a friend that like wanted to like group us all together and like talk about it and like make like a public page about it. I think it sparked a lot of like drive in kids to like want to push his message more, which was a beautiful thing. Like okay. There was actually a lot of community behind this, and like I don't want to make this event sound like good in any way, but there was good that came out of it.
So with that said, I want to hear more about that, and I want to ask you about the repaving of the scene. Okay, that happened just a couple of days later. And we were told that it was going to be a memorial. So first, let's just talk about how fast that scene was paved over. Like, did you think anything about that, or?
Oh, like, are you talking about the pavers they put over it, like in the courtyard?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. How fast after did they put those down?
Within a couple of days, literally. So it happened on Wednesday, around 12:30-ish. And I think they were pulling up the pavers and whatnot by Friday, and then putting new things down by late Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, that's definitely interesting to me. I mean, I feel like they would have like blocked off the area for like a month to investigate it, like if they were already like suspicious of Tyler Robinson and where the shooting came from anyways, I'm shocked they did that. Yeah. Like but I don't remember that being talked about necessarily. I feel like we might have gotten an email about that they were doing construction in the courtyard and to like not near it. Which I do remember that, actually. Now like all these memories are coming back.
Yeah.
I do remember reading that and being like, "Oh, that's interesting." Like construction, like wasn't he just like shot and killed there?
And also interesting with the timing, and I wonder, is that he had been apprehended, and then it was like the immediate order went out that the crime scene needed to be pulled up and paved over. And I have to wonder if, like, typically the defense attorneys would be able to go out and look at the scene and make some analysis, some initial observations. But in this case, I have to wonder if, because they got their guy and he lawyers up, that sparked some of the need to flip the scene real fast.
Yeah, definitely. Like the timing of it all is definitely suspicious. And I could see why like you guys would like want to investigate that part. Like there's a lot of angles of it that definitely are suspicious.
Now, when you talk about this sort of fire that it set off within people and like, hey, let's get together, let's do something. I understand that there was this desire to have a memorial on campus to honor Charlie's memory and what had happened. And that the campus, that UVU had said they were repairing the scene, not only for the sake of the students, but to create a memorial.
Yeah.
They put like 30 some odd pots of plants there. Does that seem like a sufficient memorial to you? I could
wait,
here. I'll pull up a picture.
do you have a picture? I'm like want to visualize.
Yeah.
I feel like
I'm gonna pull up a picture. Oh, that's so funny because literally my mom just texted me. We're on ESP. She just said, what does she think of the dead flowers? She knew where I was going with this. So, okay, my mom was just there a couple of weeks ago. And like I said, I'll be there next week. But my goodness, I'm going to send this video to myself. And then you can kind of walk us through it. Hold on one moment. And I'll load it in. I'm operating on like a half computer setup right now. So, okay, it should be coming through. But yeah, so right where he was sitting, they ended up adding like 30 some odd potted plants. And it's my understanding that they like have not been able, at one point had said they were not able to decide on what they wanted to do with the area. But come on now. I mean, we're 9 months in, like, let's go.
Yeah. I mean,
I'll show it to here you go. I'm about to load it in.
I want to see it, so I like remember.
And everyone says you're doing great. They're enjoying you so much. So thank you again so much. You guys, this is Ashley. If you're just now joining us, I've seen the viewers have increased substantially. So this is Ashley. She just graduated from UVU. She was a senior at the time, and she was in the crowd on September 10th.
Okay. I was just approached by two gentlemen who are doing an internship here, and supposedly they're from Tennessee, but they sure asked me a lot of questions that were very interesting, both of them. But I wanted to show this to you so that you can see how good they are taking care. And this is probably the best one, or this one. But when we're talking about this, I think it's pretty dead looking. And maybe over here. that one as well. Someone did put a red, white, and blue amongst the dead flowers. And these dead flowers. And this. And oh my goodness, this one needs lots of tender, loving care. So does this one.
That's so funny because I mean, maybe just like I'm gonna like when I would walk through campus because I wouldn't really go anyway to be able to see that just because I didn't want to. But I never really looked down there and like, noticed anything they did afterwards. I think there was a flag hanging at one point around there, but yeah, that's interesting. I honestly I think that's a little bit of a tacky memorial. I think yeah. Yeah, that's odd to me, definitely.
Yeah. It just, they could do a lot better, I would think. I would think that TPUSA would be more than happy to, I mean, considering all that the students have been through, etc. You know,
Yeah.
the university, I mean, even the university's name has been soiled because of everything, right? Like, anyway, I don't know.
That's very odd. I would agree with that. Yeah. And I feel like Turning Point I feel like Turning Point would be upset with that too, honestly.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
like,
But I mean, like, I understand also that there were a lot of students who were not interested in having Charlie there.
yeah.
But if you look at some of the other, I don't know, sculptures, I guess, that are in that courtyard area, I don't know if they represent anyone in particular, but there's like random, you know, sculptures of somebody sitting like this or sitting like this. I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. That's so odd to me. I wish I like went down there. I just like I could never get myself to like go back outside right there after it. Like I knew they like they had like I swear there's like a day people came and like walked through it. Maybe it was after they like changed the pavements or something, but yeah.
I think there's one more photo too from Jordan, one of my colleagues. So he just sent me this picture because he went around the same time that my mom did. And he went, I think, yeah, I was supposed to be there. I told you about this because I was trying to see if I could connect with you in person.
Oh, yeah.
And while I'm pulling up this photo, just for folks who are not aware, oh, Jordan, I gotta convert the file. Hold on. But for folks who are not aware, so I met Ashley through, there was a friend of mine who in March I saw, y'all, I've been like in the bunker of my house investigating this case every day. And so I saw her late February, early March, and was like, yeah, I've been working on the Charlie Kirk case all the time. And she said, oh, well, I have, you know, a relative who was there. I said, what? Are you kidding me? Could I talk to her? She said, I don't know. Let me ask. So anyway, this has been a work in progress for a long time.
And the weird thing is, like I said, like I flew home to California like right after the event. And I actually, it was that our connection, they were having like a dinner thing. They were in town and I actually saw her that night.
Mm-hmm.
So that's cool.
And yes, for those who have done super chats, trust me, I will hop over there in just a second. I'm trying to convert this image real quick and then we'll be over there.
I've seen a question a couple times of what time I arrived at the event.
Oh yeah, go for it.
I got there probably like 8 minutes before he like arrived. So I got there like right at the beginning of it. I don't know what time exactly.
Okay, here we go. All right, so Jordan wanted me to pull up, hold on, this. Let's see, is that right? Yeah. Hold on. Oh, I have to take the other one off first. There we go. I mean, this is again part of the fabulous emergency work that had to be completed very quickly. And it already looks like this. I mean, it's shoddy paver work. And if we really want to get into it, I know this isn't your specialty, Ashley, but I mean, I can't find that the company even had a license at the time to do this. They were a hardscape. Well, the guy was primarily a realtor, but also did some hardscapes. Bottom line, I don't think that there were proper permits pulled. And the guy said, you may not have seen this interview, this podcast interview that came about within the last few weeks, but he said that the governor and the FBI said it needed to be done by Monday.
Yeah, that's really odd. There's like there's a lot of things that really don't add up. And like I wish like I was as into it as you guys are so I could understand more, but I have not, I feel like I haven't like read anything on it for like a couple months now.
Yeah. I mean, I think that there are a lot of people probably who feel that way. I think, you know, when you go through trauma, I can only compare it to my kids going through the July 4th floods, for example. And, you know, like some of the folks who lived it and were in the middle of it, some of them are able to handle doing the investigating stuff, and others want to just disassociate. Yeah. And they know that they have to stay focused. I mean, for you, it's your senior year. So, you know, you kind of had to focus on priorities.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, like that like shot the rest of my fall semester. Like, I feel like I didn't really have a fall semester because we got back to school very end of August, like beginning of September. And then that happened like that week. And then like school was just like weird for like 2 months. And then by then it's like November and your Thanksgiving. And then between Thanksgiving and Christmas in college, you only have like 2 weeks. So it's like really quick turn. Like fall's just like a quick semester already, you know? So yeah, it definitely like blew that like out. And then winter semester came and yeah, I was just trying to like finish school and like try to feel normal again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm going to go to a few of the super chats right now, if we can just kind of cruise through some of those. And then if folks have any, you know, important questions for Ashley, please feel free to send a super. It was really hard. I hope you guys understand, for me to keep up with the chat simultaneously, because I wanted to really focus on Ashley and listen to what she had to say. So, you know, if you have something that you'd like to ask, feel free to drop a super so that way I can make sure that I see it. Thank you, Amy, the Hokey girl, for becoming a member, and hope everyone does take a minute to subscribe and turn on the notifications for my channel at Kelly Raybon. Ashley, I wish I could promote your channel too, but I understand you're going to keep it on the low. Shauna, 1985, thank you so much for the super. Always appreciate your support. Thank you for being here. All righty, here we go. Eagles Soaring, 2012. Crisis King, go Max with Kelly, Candace, Baron, Zach, Coach Colin. Well, that's quite the group to include me in. So thank you very, very much. Thanks for being here. Thanks for the super. To Truth for Liberty with the super. Thank you. Kelly, you're doing a great job with the interview. Thank you so much. Tammy, here we go. Thank you, Tammy, for the super. Please ask her about earlier description that he was shot in the neck and his head was, quote, blown completely off. Also, please ask her if she knows Phil or any of the Lyman family. So first, let's start with the, I don't know, extra difficult one of describing that moment in what you saw and what made you, because I know that when we spoke on the phone, you used that same phrase. Can you describe that as difficult as I understand that it may be to the audience so they can, you know, get a better understanding?
Yeah. So I explained it. Again, I would say I was like 20 feet from him when he got shot. He was shot very close to the chest, but more in the neck. And I explained it like a domino, like his head just collapsed and like went to his back. Like it literally looked like his head like snapped off his shoulders, I guess, or like his body, and like so much blood poured out of his neck. And so, yeah, I just like, I like can remember it so vividly, like where he got shot and like the amount of blood that poured out and how his head literally, it was just like, it just like fell back like that. Like it literally looked like it detached and just like fell to the ground. Yeah.
Man. And for the, I don't want to get too graphic again. I'm not because of the audience, but out of respect for you and what you experienced. But there are a lot in the audience. And I mean, even I have felt this way too, that we don't see like that much blood in the videos. Like it feels like there's some blood, but not a lot. So anything that you can do to kind of, and then even when he's carried out, like there's hardly any blood. So can you help us kind of understand that a little more?
Yeah, like, and I like say this so truthfully and honestly, like if I were to remember one thing, it was the amount of blood that poured out of his neck. Like you guys, like it was like, I can't even like put it into words how much blood poured out of his neck. And like, I watched a video once and not again. And like, you could see like blood from like a mile away because there was so much and it was so red. Like that's literally what I remember. And I watched a video, and the video I saw, it was like, it was maybe an hour after it. I like made my brother show me something because I was going insane and like thought my brain was lying to me. And the video I saw like confirmed what I saw in person. And like, I don't have anything else to say except like his, like this whole area literally like ripped open like a flap and like a tremendous amount of blood poured out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like, look. And like, I didn't watch a ton of videos. Like I said, like I watched one like that was released like in that hour that probably had gotten taken down already, you know, by the time people were like looking at it. And I think, I'm trying to remember, I don't think my brother had a video, but he might have. I saw some video and it just like confirmed what I saw. But even without the video, like I remember what I saw, and all I remember, like what I remember most is the amount of blood that came out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
there's
nothing.
Like, people can like say videos were edited or whatever, but like I will stand on this like till the day I die. Like I can't even explain like the eruption of his like neck and like how much blood came out. So if like you've seen anything else, it was edited, and like I'll believe that forever.
Yeah. And I would love to maybe, I know there were some requests during the stream for this, but maybe if you would consider it, you know, talking with you another time when I have a chance to like share with you some videos or anything like that to see, for you to review if you are comfortable with it and take a look at it and then, you know, see what you want. If you don't, that's fine. We can talk about it offline. But because in part UVU does have this program that deals in AI deep fakes, and the impact that editing video and audio can have on altering the political views of a country. Like, it's something that UVU actually has. And so I think that has like played into some of the critical thinking talks that we have.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I would honestly love to like look more into some things that you investigate and like give my 2 cents on it.
Cool. I appreciate that. And then also to round out Tammy's question, do you know or have you heard of Phil Lyman or anyone with the Lyman family?
I do not know. I'm sorry.
Do you know that he's a politician or that he was there that day?
I did not know that.
Okay. Okay.
No.
All right. Let's see. From Nunyan. Is her family connected to politics, military, or Hollywood? If you're comfortable in answering that.
No to all 3. No, no, and no.
There we go. Okay.
Simple as that. I just come from a very like normal family.
To Truth for Liberty, thank you so much for the super. Thank you for sharing your story, Ashley. Please ignore Minnie in the chat.
Thank you.
And another one, To Truth for Liberty, Ashley, you are loved and appreciated by many. Thank you.
Thank you.
And from Trigger Smart, thanks for doing this, Ashley. It is admirable and brave. You did awesome, and your smile lit up the stream.
Thank you.
Hit that like. Okay, we've got another one. Oh, Blake, West Texas is the best Texas. I'd like to know what she thinks about the fake death theory, given this incredibly descriptive recollection of Under the Tent.
Yeah, I told Kelly this, but I believe like he died instantly. And like, even if his like heart was still beating for like a bit, like he definitely died, if not right after he was shot, like in the car. Like there's no way somebody could lose that much blood and like be wounded like that and not die. Like it literally looked like his whole head fell off his body. Like there was like no coming back from it. It wasn't like a, let me look again to see like if he's gonna flinch. Like, no, like he was like, I believe he was gone. And like everybody, I said this, like I have a handful of friends that were there and like my brother was there and like all of our stories line up the exact same. And like, I don't even want to say this is like opinion based because like I believe it so much, but I really do believe that he like died instantly.
Yeah. I am an AI deep fake. Look at my eyes. Are you kidding me? Look at my eyes. I don't know. What do I need to do? This is
I saw somebody say I had AI glasses on too, and I was like,
come on, you guys. Let's be real. Okay.
Like, these are my prescription glasses, everybody. So I can read these. And none of this is narrative. Like, it's literally just my experience. Like I'm
an AI deep fake.
Like I would never memorize a script for this kind of interview. Like, come on now.
No, absolutely not. Oh my gosh. Oh, thank you. Just common sensing it. Hey, Ashley, thank you for sharing your story. Did you see his security guard push him over?
Like once he was shot, I'm guessing. Yeah. I remember a security guard like coming to his like backside. And that's all I remember. Again, like we all fell to the floor and were like taking cover because we thought we were going to get shot next. So I don't, there's like, I remember the shot. I remember the blood. I remember his body like folding back and like them like running to him. And that's all I remember. Like, I really don't remember like the little details of it that like videos show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's really funny somebody asking me to show the back of my neck. You guys, come on now. I show you my double jointed arms all the time. Okay. The AI deepfake don't have the double jointed arms. Okay. Anyway. All right. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to go back through just a couple more questions because I've kept you for 2 hours already.
You're good.
Okay. Let's see here. Oh, did you notice anyone hanging out in the bushes? That's something that, you know, some of us after the fact have seen, like people kind of emerging from the bushes.
I don't recall bushes because I was pretty down low, like by the tent, and it's kind of like more industrial down there. Like there's not really bushes. And if there was anyone hanging out in the bushes, it probably looked like that from videos because they were like running through bushes to exit, would be my guess. Like I definitely tripped over a bush, like running up to my car. So I'm sure there's like angles of videos that made it look like someone was running out of a bush. But I don't recall seeing anybody in a bush or hiding, even walking in. But again, there were so many people there, you guys. Like I walked in and at the beginning of this live, I told you, but my brother was down below when we were going to meet him. And so I was like pushing through the crowd to go meet my brother because he was like saving spots for us. And there's definitely a lot of angles. Like I couldn't see like genuinely just because there were so many people there. So but to answer your question, like, no, I did not notice anybody hanging out in the bush.
Okay, cool. I mean, I guess if they were trying to be disguised, then maybe they did a really good job being disguised in the bush.
Yeah.
I'm totally kidding, you guys. Okay. Let's see here. I think this is a really good question. So you are about the same age as Tyler. Can you imagine someone your age planning and executing an assassination of a political figure and really, I mean, doing it all by themselves?
Sadly, I can. Like, we live in a pretty sick world, and it's like everybody was dealt like a different hand of cards, and like there's probably like demons he was fighting, and like part of me, like I'm like sad for the kid, you know? Like I do believe, and I've talked about this with like family, that he was like brainwashed into it. Considering he wasn't the one that shot him, like it is sad. Like I definitely do believe that he was like brainwashed into like being a part of it, you know? And this wasn't something that someone would have said a year ago about him. So like, it's hard for me to imagine anyone my age planning something like this. It's awful and it's disgusting, but like, I mean, there's so many like sick and twisted people in our world. Like I wouldn't put it past a 20-something-year-old, you know, like he's a human and capable of what he wants to do, I guess.
Yeah. Under the right circumstances, brainwashed or blackmailed, or maybe even just being a patsy of some sort. Like if a person's job was to drop a gun at a certain spot in the woods and that was the extent of their involvement.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I think any involvement with it is completely wrong and like sick, you know, but like again, like I don't know if this sounds shallow, but like I just wouldn't put it past somebody my age to do something like this. Like there's so many things people are being fed these days and like tuning into and like being a part of, and like it is easy for someone's mind to be like twisted like that, you know?
Yeah. And do you think it's odd that so the official narrative is that Tyler's partner, boyfriend, whatever, is, they say going through, he's becoming, he's trans, he's furry, this and that, right? But that he lives out of state now. And so in this hearing, they're going to be using his videotaped statement, but they're not bringing him in. And he was very involved in terms of, at least if you believe that those text messages were real, like that he was receiving these texts and that he had found some note under the desk that he ended up burning. I mean, like, do you think it's weird that he's not being brought in and asked many questions or charged with anything?
I think anybody involved in the slightest should be brought in and questioned.
In court, even?
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like shocked they're not being brought in. Or he's not.
The reason why you feel the way that you feel about Tyler, is that because of what you've heard on the news and the official narrative, or is it because of any digging or conversations that you've had on your own?
Do you mean like the way I feel, like
the way you feel? I don't want to say judgment, but your assessment of Tyler Robinson and his character, and if he could or couldn't do it. Are you basing that off of what you've heard on TV and from the official, from the law enforcement?
I honestly haven't like heard a lot about him on law enforcement, except like I said, like the day they like detained him, I like watched up until that point. I haven't been following him since, but like what I said about like, is it crazy somebody like my age could do this? I think that's just a personal opinion that I have, like just from like everything that's happened in our world up until this point. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I hear that. So I think that's why a lot of us online are trying to continue to investigate the case. And I mean, I know for me, if I see the evidence for myself that I believe that he did it, by all means, I'm gonna share all those things. But if I would have a chance to, in another episode, now that we've established like your witness story, to talk through some of a lot of or all of the oddities, I think that would be really fascinating.
Yeah, I'd be interested in that, because like I know you guys have like dug into this like way more than I have, so that would be, and I feel like once I hear your opinions and angles of it, I could definitely give like a little 2 cents on it.
Some perspective. Yeah. At the end of the day, like it's the on the ground perspective. This is what reporting is about, right? Is talking to people when I'm not there. I can't say that I have the end all be all everything figured out. All I can say is what evidence is showing me from afar.
Yeah.
So yeah, your information is absolutely valuable, incredibly valuable.
Yeah.
I think that's most of the questions, and I've kept you for well over 2 hours. So
yeah, I'm looking through the questions to see if there's any I want.
Yeah, tell me if you see anything else that you'd like to answer.
Yeah, and if you guys have any more questions, you can comment them and I'll answer.
They said, sorry, Ashley, we're obsessed.
Oh, goodness. Sorry, I probably sounded a little like nervous. Just
No, not at all. They said, come back and be part of the investigation. Like, you're welcomed here.
with
I mean,
anything.
some days it's a tough community. I'll tell you. I said something, a few things on Friday/Saturday about Candace Owens' perspectives on things, and boy, did they come at me. But
yeah.
hey, look, we
that's what I
are.
feel.
It's important, I think, that we work together. And again, that's what we're here for.
Yeah. Someone said, did I do therapy with the feds that started the Facebook groups that were in the strange interviews? No, I did private therapy. I've not talked to anybody in any Facebook groups, any FBI, nothing. It's all just been private.
Why did you want to do the interview with me today?
Well, it was funny. Like, when this happened, I remember my mom saying, like, just like trying to bring some light into the situation. There's like no light about it, but you know what I mean. She was like, this might be like a good thing for you to talk about in the future. So I've always just kept that in mind. And then like when you reached out to me, I was like, yeah, like it actually is really good for me to talk about it, even though like I may sound nervous or like not able to answer things fully. Like it's really good and like healthy for me to talk about it. And I'm like willing to, like, it's really good for my mind. And I love, like, I do, even though I don't investigate it, I do like hearing perspectives and like people's questions. Like, I think it's cool that you guys are super like into this and like investigate it.
We care a lot. I mean, there's about 1,300 people in the live right now. And yeah. And so I think that's awesome.
That.
Yep. Yeah, you're doing awesome. So I'd love to have you back on. Oh, we just got a couple of other supers come through. Why would you consent to be interviewed like this? Your answer was great. And the more comfortable you get here, the greater it seems.
Thank you. Yeah, I feel like another interview would be or live stream would be good. Like
another stream. Yeah, and then we could go through some different pieces of evidence from different perspectives. I mean, folks who are coming to my channel hopefully know at this point that my background is an investigative reporter for 12 years and then some. And so even though I have my own personal opinions on what I believe happened, I save space for others. And I hope that I helped you feel comfortable today.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And I wish I knew more about like what you guys like investigate, but I genuinely like haven't looked into it much in a few months. So
I think that's good. It's a good starting point to come from, where you're more neutral.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like everything, I want to like state, like everything I said was genuinely like the truth and like what I remember, and like none of this was scripted or narrative. Like this is genuinely my truth of the day. And like I would never ever lie about anything like this on a live stream or in general. So yeah, everything I said was just true, honest, what I remember from that day. So
yeah. Well, thank you so much. And I saw Blake's, I'll put it back up. Did this eyewitness change your mind on it all being fake, Kelly? And look, as I just said, I continue to save space for a multitude of possibilities. And you know that my secondary theory is that he was sacrificed. And so I, at that point, am trying to understand how it happened, because to me, I still don't see a shot to the neck. I don't see what we saw as an entry point. And I don't see it as the exploding mic, and I don't clearly see it as the necklace. If it's swinging this way, how is the pendant going that way? So that's a little summary on some of those other ideas, but that's where I'm at, and I'm able to maintain space for all. Let's see. I see. Oh, was this your first TPUSA event?
Yeah, that's the question I was going to answer. Yes, it was.
Oh.
And it was my first event. And again, I went because it was at my university. I went to school at UVU. So yeah.
Yep. Got it. Okay. Well, everyone says thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Ashley. You were so sweet. So happy to meet you. From JR Nana Boomer. Yeah. We really appreciate everybody. In case y'all have missed the beginning of the interview, because I know there are a lot of folks that are just tuning in now, trust me, it's one you are going to want to watch from the jump. Ashley, thank you so much for being such an open book, for sharing all of your experience, and going into this next week, as I go to UVU and I go to the hearing, do you have any pieces of advice for me?
You're going to UVU. Honestly, just like go sit on one of the grass steps and like look around. Honestly, I mean, Utah's such a beautiful state, but not much advice, honestly. But I hope you can like gain some more insight and like understand more like perspective, and since you're going to the campus, that will be cool. So yeah.
Awesome.
And you're going to the hearing, you said?
Yes.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And when is that? See, I don't even know, but that's something.
Yeah, it's going to be the 6th through the 10th.
Oh, okay, cool. So soon.
Yep. I got to get ready.
People seem to be really thrown off that I'm wearing a cross.
Oh, do you want to address that? Do you want to address that? Okay.
So, like I grew up LDS and like the Mormon faith, as you would know, but like we've never been against there's a lot of cultural things with the faith that just aren't like true. Like we believe in Jesus Christ and he died for us, and like I wear this because like he loves us. Like it's simple as that. Like yeah, we don't like preach about his like death and like worship it, but like he still died for us and loves us. Like it's super simple. So that's like, even though I'm LDS, that's why I wear a cross. Like it's not that complex, guys.
Yeah. And I hope that folks will respect each individual person's beliefs, even when you are a member of a certain church or faith or belief, like you still can have your own internal and personal ways to express that. Yeah.
And like, there's a lot of like comments about like Mormons, like, oh, they don't do this and they don't do that. Like all those things you hear are genuinely just like cultural things, like because of the way they were raised in the gospel. And like a lot of those things just don't exist. It's just like, we believe in Christ, we're Christians. Like a lot of things in our religion really correlate with a lot of other religions. And like the little things you hear, like Mormon do's and don'ts, like they just like don't apply to everyone. Like it's kind of just like a personal thing. Yeah.
Well,
I know I didn't need to explain that, but I just like wanted to, because I saw a couple questions. So
I'm so glad that you did, and that you felt comfortable addressing that. And look, I mean, each person is their own and has their own way of sharing and honoring their own personal beliefs.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, well, thank you so much, everybody. Please make sure that you have liked, subscribed, turn on those notifications. I've got a lot of spicy content coming up soon, and we'll be at UVU and at the Utah County Courthouse for the hearing next week. You don't want to miss a thing, so make sure that you have those notifications turned on. Ashley, thank you again for being here. Thank you for opening up. Thank you for sharing from what clearly was a traumatic day, a traumatic event, something that, you know, you still think about often. And I know that wasn't easy. So thank you.
Thanks for having me, Kelly.
Absolutely. All right. We'll see y'all later.
Bye.
Bye.